recognized as such as recently as only 2-3 years ago in UN Economic Resolution are the integral part of service. Suddenly, the powers that be in the UN reverse their position and support independence of the sovereign. How we reconcile that? How we reconcile the right of a people to self-determination and what sometimes might seem to be a contradiction, sovereignty of the state. What should take precedence? The right of the people to self-determination or territorial integrity, sovereignty over all parts of the territory? This is it is a dilemma that many countries face today in the face of the problem of Kosovo. It only serves to illustrate the complexity of the many problems facing the international community. The President of the University just referred earlier to the ongoing tragedy conflict in Gaza, Somalia, Sudan, the unresolved and ongoing suffering of the people in Burma/Myanmar. In view of this, against this background, that is a bit difficult for me to believe and to lead you to believe that peace is possible in our entire world. It is possible in each country with some specific situations. No resolution of conflicts within a state is an indictment of all of us. No resolution of the conflict in Timor-Leste in the previous 24 years was an indictment of the international community, an indictment of the United Nations, of Indonesia. But then, wisdom prevailed in Indonesia in 1999 with the change of leadership there, change that was brought about by the people of Indonesia and Timor-Leste. We did not march into the capital building with weapons. The resolution of the conflict came about because wiser people in Indonesia decided enough was enough. Then through protracted negotiations, Indonesia withdrew, the United Nations took over temporarily for 2 years, and Timor exceeded independence. But that doesn't mean that some of legacy of the occupation, legacy of the past, that created a culture of violence, created so much trauma that was resolved suddenly with independence. We can negotiate political agreements, but it's far more difficult to heal the wounds in our heart, in our soul. That is much more complex process. In 2000, we had a major conflict within our resistance forces and to be created a new defense force. Our resistance force was transitioning to a new modern force. One of the world-known fighters called Mr. L7, that was the code name during the resistance, charismatic, little education, abandoned the cantonment in the town of Aire, and with 30 men, allegedly very heavily armed, went to his native town of Lasha. He had a lot of popular support, thousands of people. I was asked by the then Mr. Sergio Vieira de Mello, the late Senator Vieira de Mello, and Mr. Fernando Guzmão to handle that situation. And I asked them, as long as you give me carte blanche, green light, full authority to resolve, and whatever I work out with me, you have to accept. They agreed. So I went to Laga many times, several weeks. But to make the story short, I finally convinced him to return to the capital with a huge entourage, and what was the agreement? The agreement was this. He would not return to armed forces, because I told Sergio and Mr. Salle University, I can resolve a political dispute, but I cannot resolve what goes on in the heart. Between him and the rest of his compatriots, there is very deep division. A lot of resentment the way he perceives your things. So this will take time. He shouldn't go back. To him I told him, you shouldn't go back. Well, I propose that he would be made security advisor to the UN in Timor, security advisor to Mr. Anderson, who will give the authority, vehicle to travel around the country. And since then, he has been such a well-behaved, and then last year ran for office and was elected to the parliament. But one critical issue was, as I mentioned, so difficult. You can reach an agreement, political agreement, but do not disregard what goes on also in the psyche, in the mind, in the heart of people involved in the conflict. In Timor-Leste, we inherited years and years of abuse, of humiliation, that created this, I wouldn't say culture of violence, but people traumatized. And people who are traumatized by violence treat them appropriately. Treat them understanding what goes on in their mind, in their heart. In 2006, after a few years of relative peace, after 1999, violence erupted in Timor. Few academics, Western, simplistic-minded journalists who traveled to a given country for a few days, sometimes if they work for big newspapers, they don't even have a few days. They have only a few hours. They read things that were written by some other academics or some other journalists. They repeat the same mistakes made by the previous correspondent, the previous journalist, because they all read the same stuff, influenced by each other, make simplistic assessment, evaluation of the situation. In my country, as they have done in many other countries that I have read and writing about. While people like me took hours, days, patiently going to the neighborhood, two people home, talking to the people, or they come to us, talk with them, endless for weeks, trying to bridge the divide, sometimes between the leadership and the people, leadership that are disconnected from the people, sometimes between rival groups, sometimes the problem of misinformation, misreading, prejudices, sometimes the issue of poverty, of land dispute, housing dispute, then some behind the scenes manipulate turning into politics. Far more complex than what simple-minded journalists, particularly from newspapers, from Australia, from Portugal, US, foreign correspondent, Associated Press, Reuters, even the venerable BBC, in the absence of on-the-spot coverage, in the absence of fresh footage of what's going on, they do a story with background pictures of 5 years later, but they're waiting to lead information to the viewers. I've seen it everywhere. And the media, in many instances, in our own country, do not do their share of justice, of contribution to peacemaking. They exacerbate situations through sometimes an irresponsible coverage.